I hope you guys are doing extremely well. So in this video, we're going to go over Arnies. We're going to create a integration with Arnies using our natural text-to-speech pattern known as English. We're going to create a custom integration using unipile as an API, which, by the way, is currently not connected through our pre-built connectors, but it is an API you can actually build just by speaking to our Copilot. So the way that this is going to happen is quite simple. We're going to create a new chat to begin with, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to ask our AI Copilot to study the Unipile documentation and create a custom integration. Now, as you can see here, it's firstly checking through our integrations to see if we already have an integration already. If there's no integration, what it will do is it will research the API to discover how it works. We use the Perplexity MCP to do this, and then it will call a few more web tool calls to essentially study the API a bit more in depth to understand how it works. Now, what it's going to do is it's going to start creating something called ingredients, which are custom integrations that you can build just by, as I said, sending a message to the Copilot. Now what it's going to do is going to keep studying it until it finds out how everything works, and it will start creating those awesome integrations. So as you can see here, it's just studying it. Now the AI Copilot has actually asked me a few questions. I've studied the Unipile. It covers messaging accounts, LinkedIn, and more. Which integrations are most useful? I actually want to do something a bit different for this. I just want to scrape the profiles for now. So I'll choose this and I'll just select this. Now, as you can see here, it's asked for my access token. So the cool thing is we've made this as secure as possible to make sure that, if it is a custom integration, we want to make sure that it is in a secure field and the AI does not have access to your API or tokens. We do not store this in our own database, we store it in a hosted database. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send the AI my token and select and submit. So now it's got the token and it's going to create a custom integration. It's only taken around 1 minute so far, and I haven't done any coding. I haven't had to drag and drop any fields. I haven't had to put any of my tokens or set up those different input fields. It's all automated. So as you can see here, it's asking for a DSN, which is required for this API. Send it my DSN. There we go. So now what it's doing is it's going to start creating the actual API. So we'll do get user profile. And it's going to start researching the get user profile API documentation. So what it's doing now is it's finally testing the ingredient. It's testing if it works. It's basically testing the API to make sure that the API actually works before it gets saved. And this is our approach when it comes to actually building these custom integrations. It needs to test first before it actually saves it into your database. I provided my account ID as well because this is required to build the integration. As you can see here, the success was true and it created the integration. It is currently working, and as you can see here, it's now building the other API endpoints that I asked it to create, such as the list world chats and of course the list accounts. So it's getting all my accounts from my Unipile, and it's getting everything else from Unipile just from literally 1 minute of conversing with the AI. So the cool thing is, anytime this fails in actually saving an ingredient, it will tell me that it needs a real user ID or a real LinkedIn account ID. So the cool thing is the whole process is self-healing, and it is a user interaction level process where the AI will ask you for your input in order for it to build the ingredient. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide a real user ID. As you can see here, it has created the ingredient. It's created all the necessary ingredients. So now what I can do is if I refresh this page, you'll be able to see that all the ingredients for Unipile, the user profile, the sending LinkedIn invitation, getting the accounts and the chats are all saved. We created 7 endpoints in around a few minutes. So now what can we do with these endpoints? What can we actually do? We can now start creating automated workflows using the endpoints that we've created. So what it's doing now is it's getting the Unipile list chats to get all the conversations from my LinkedIn account, and it's going to create a workflow. So if I just press create recipe, there you go. It has now gotten all the chats from my Unipile. This took around a few minutes. I didn't have to set up any automations. I didn't have to set up any Claude code workflows. I didn't need to git commit or push anything to Git. This was all done automatically through a conversational approach in a few minutes, right? So it's got on all my chats. Now what it's doing is it's starting to scrape all the data. As you can see here, it's adding the nodes, it's adding the enrichments for each of these profiles, and it's starting to scrape the data. It's starting to scrape every single attendee, and it's starting to get all the conversations. This is the chat name. This is basically the chat that I'm having with this individual. And what this is doing is it's starting to scrape the data. As I continue to have this conversation, has now built the entire workflow where it's gotten pretty much everything required, and it's still building it as we speak. It's gotten the conversation, it's gotten the latest message, it's gotten the connection of the profiles, the location, and it's still building it. The AI is still building it as we converse. And it's giving a priority score for each of these individual profiles, and essentially building up a kind of a prospect list from my chats from across all my accounts. Right. So you guys can see the advantage of being able to quickly create custom integrations in literally minutes, and then using those custom integrations to build any kind of workflows you can imagine. And we've been building this for a few months now, and it's just going extremely well. We have been building really cool workflows and really cool automations just by conversing with our AI.